Everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Vincent Esposito, and today we are going over how to curb late night hunger. Now, before we get to that, if you haven't done it already, please subscribe below and hit the notification bell. You'll be able to see new videos when they come out. So without further ado, let's get started. My first tip for today is going to be to increase fiber and unprocessed carb intake. Now, what this is going to do is going to stave off hunger for longer periods of time. So fiber helps keep us fuller longer, and same thing with those unprocessed carbs. So we're talking about things like vegetables, fruits, things of that nature that are unprocessed in their whole forms. When we end up going to simple carbs, which we're going to get to next, it kind of changes how fast we digest them, and they kind of move through us quicker, which means we get hungrier quicker. Identify your trigger foods. So these are going to be things like sugary snacks, chips, sodas, simple carbohydrates, and processed foods. These are going to cause what are known as insulin spikes, which means they go up really quickly, but they also crash really quickly, which ends up leaving us hungry 2 to 3 hours later. Whereas if we're getting more of that fiber and unprocessed food intake, we are staying fuller for longer. They're not broken down as fast, which means we're not getting hungry as fast going forward. Third on our list is drinking enough water. Now, often what happens is thirst is confused with hunger many times, whereas typically what I would tell someone to do is maybe drink some water, drink a glass of water, wait about 10-15 minutes, and then see if that hunger begins to dissipate. Many times people are not drinking enough water as they should. I tend to recommend half your body weight in fluid ounces. So say if I weighed 150 pounds, you want to be drinking at least 75 fluid ounces of water per day. Get enough sleep. Now, lack of sleep actually leads to insulin resistance. And again, we talked about triggering insulin. So in a similar effect, if we're not getting enough sleep, those stress levels rise and we're going to be reaching for those kind of sugary snacks more quickly. So getting enough sleep, and we've covered that in an earlier video, I'll tag that around here. You can check that out if you want, but getting enough sleep is actually really crucial to curbing late night hunger long term. Next big one is to monitor your stress levels. Now, when we tend to be stressed out, we tend to overeat, and more importantly, we tend to overeat the wrong types of foods, those kind of sugary foods, salty snacks, things of that nature. So really take a deep dive and look at your stress levels and address those. Maybe it's, again, I did a stress video earlier, I'll link that here. Covering those are really important. Even if it's things like meditation or taking up a new hobby, really monitoring those stress levels is going to help with those cravings going forward. Next one is be mindful while you're eating. Now, it actually takes the stomach 20 minutes to tell our bodies that we've actually eaten and are full. So take your time when you're eating, and more importantly, enjoy the food you're eating. If you're gonna, spend all this time cooking or enjoying a home-cooked meal, things of that nature, really take the time to just appreciate what you've done. It takes a lot of time and effort, but it'll also slow down your eating. And the slower you eat, you'll actually feel fuller and you won't tend to overeat long term. So just kind of be mindful and be aware of that when you're eating. The next one is kind of a little trick. I happen to live with a dentist, so this comes up a lot. So brush your teeth after dinner. Now, this might not work for everyone, but if you brush your teeth, say, immediately after you eat dinner, chances are you aren't as likely to reach for a snack maybe later on that night. So if you brush your teeth earlier, it works for some people, might work for others, or might not work for others, but it is worth giving a shot. So yeah, look into it. The next one is a big one for me. As humans, we're creatures of habit. So establishing a routine is actually really, really big. So if you are able to kind of schedule, when you eat, when you have certain meals at certain times of the day, the chances of you reaching for snacks at other times is less likely. Now, I understand that some of us work jobs where we can't, where we're not eating at the same time all the time. Try your best to establish a routine the best way you can. It really helps in terms of not reaching for things when you know it's not time to eat. The next one, going along with the last one, is plan for cravings. Listen, we're all gonna go out to eat for dinner and enjoy certain meals, and that's really important. It's really good to socialize and do that. It's just plan for it. The other thing is if you happen to maybe eat a late lunch and don't eat dinner, say if you're eating a late lunch, maybe like 2, 3 o'clock, but you're not going to bed till like 11, that's an 8-hour gap, 8-9 hour gap. So if you're not eating you're going to get hungry no matter what over that 8-hour span. So even if you don't eat a full dinner, maybe have a smaller snack or something like that, maybe 7, 8 o'clock, so that you're not hungry going forward. And again, just kind of plan that into your schedule. So those are my 9 strategies to curb late night hunger. Again, I don't necessarily think you should try all of these at once. I'd say try maybe 1 or 2. Maybe you're doing some of these already. That's fantastic. That's awesome. Pick 1 or 2, try to schedule them as best you can into your lifestyle and kind of go from there. And then just try to add on one after another. And that's kind of the best way to do it. But I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't, please subscribe and like if you like this video. Hit the notification bell if you want more updates every time I come out with a video. They're coming out twice a week. And until next time, we'll see you then.